Hold up. Let me get ready for week 2 right quick. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Sounds like it's gonna be really good. I'm actually gonna drink for this too.
Yeah, I should have. So this week was entertaining.
It was.
Well, we got quite a bit of feedback from last week, which I thought was cool.
And it was like 90% good feedback.
Yeah, but I honestly expected to have 2 people listen to it,
Yeah,
and that was it.
that's what I was expecting too.
Yeah, it's not like there was a lot that listened to it, but it was actually kind of like, oh, triple digit, I'll be down.
Yeah, YouTube got like at least 100, 130 views and like just a handful of subscribers. And then Spotify only counts full through plays instead of just people who click on it, like
Yeah,
on YouTube. And full through plays, we had over 40.
yeah.
And then followers was about the same as YouTube, like 12, something like that.
What kind of feedback did you get?
I got a lot of like, oh, it was good. We really enjoyed it. And
Yeah,
a lot of positive. And then the only bit of, I guess I would say, bad feedback was just constructive criticism. It
yeah,
was just giving me like little tips that might help make it a little bit better. It wasn't anybody like talking shit on it or
right.
whatever. But
Yeah, that's kind of what I got too. I mean, that's always good to have, constructive criticism.
yeah, of course.
Haven't encountered any haters. I'm sure that they're out there somewhere. But
I'm sure they're
if
just
they,
checking, waiting for us to mess up.
right, if they ain't here yet, they will be soon, and it'll be funny. But yeah, no, it was a good experience. So
It was.
I enjoyed it.
I hope we do this for a while.
That's the plan.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, I really want to keep doing it. Like I said last week, it's just, time for us to bond, something to do,
Yeah.
and it's cheaper than buying a bass boat anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And good luck getting you out past fucking 8 a.m., 8 p.m. I mean,
Yeah, well, I feel that if I bought a boat, the only time it would get wet is whenever it rains.
yeah.
So it looked really good in the driveway, though.
It'd be right there, just waiting for you.
But you have a good week?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, just did a little work here and there and watched the analytics on the videos, seeing how good they did. The first 3 days, it was really popular and
Yeah.
a lot of people were watching it. And then it slowly started trickling off because now it's a week old and everybody who's got to listen to it probably already has.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it wasn't bad. How was your week?
Not bad. Doing the whole work thing. Had a lot going on at work this week, so worked a little extra. I don't even know, 70 some odd hours, but it was hard, but it was
Work
good.
flex, but okay.
Yeah, right. It's not that I'm a hard worker. I'm just dumb enough to go in all the time.
Yeah.
So, but I got to talk with one of my friends at work, and he loves conspiracy theories,
Okay.
like hardcore.
I used to be obsessed with them.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch them all the time.
Well, he was talking to me about flat Earth,
Yeah.
and it's not that I believe in flat Earth. I'm open to the idea, sure.
Yeah.
I'm open to almost any idea, but I I thought it was interesting enough for me to oh, why do people think that there's a flat Earth?
hmm
So just reading on some of it, and it was some guy, Samuel Rowbottom or Rothbottom, whatever it was. And I don't even know what date it was, but it was like 1800 or 1900 or something. Long ass time ago. Anyway.
So what did he think? Like what made him think of flat Earth?
Well, I don't know. He referenced something like that was even before his time. Something like before, because the Greeks figured out that the world was round long ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but I know that they did. But somebody else had thought it was a flat Earth then too, and questioned why Columbus went the direction he went to get to India.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he figured that he proved it because he took a boat and found a long channel and put a telescope at one side at this height, and then in the boat he put a flag 1 meter tall and set it down, and he kept watching it, and he did the math on it and stuff, and like, oh well, uh, after this far the boat should drop this far, da 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 da, and it never did, and so he's like, Earth's flat, and then he went with that, but
So he just found a mostly flat stream and just rolled with the whole belief of it. And now there's millions of people thinking that the Earth is flat.
well, I mean, like we do know the circumference, like that's the whole theory, scientific theory behind, a globe Earth before we had satellites and astronauts. But, and according to the math, like the boat should have dropped this far because it traveled this distance, but I mean, from the very, very, very little that I know about that is, whenever you think of something as just a smooth ball, yeah, you're going to get that consistent measurement every time. But like if you see a picture of the world like without atmosphere and stuff like that, like I have seen that, and we're not a smooth ball all the way around.
We've got mountains, we've got massive like ditches, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's how I rationalized it. But for him, that proved the theory, and I mean, this guy, he was also a failed doctor, and his theory on the human body was that as a baby, your bones are very flexible, and your joints are able to, be more jointy, I guess, whatever the hell that word is. And as you get older, he theorized that, well, that's just your bones hardening, like setting up like concrete. So his idea to combat that is, you just got to drink this acid, like acid.
Yeah.
And that'll cure that. And then you won't do that. And then for whatever reason, I wonder why, he isn't a doctor no more. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot, I'm a astronomer. So then he goes back to doing that, and that's whenever he comes up with the flat Earth theory. But back then it was a lot different. There wasn't like, you couldn't like Google check something. Like you couldn't ask another scientist in another country. Like their peer review was live, and basically anybody could go to this stage and give their theory. And then these other guys who are supposed to be scientists, you don't know, but they say they are, and they sit in this room and they either shout you down because it's a dumb theory, or they raise you up because they think it's something good. It just kind of, it was a live version of Twitter.
In-person Twitter.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I still think it's an interesting theory. Like
I initially thought it came from like Vikings. Like Vikings had thought that the Earth was flat in some way.
well, yeah, I'm sure. Like, well, early seafarers, like they all navigate by the stars.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're always constant, so that's how they can navigate with them and find their way accurately, or fairly accurately. The Norse mythology was that we actually live in Midgard, and then in Midgard it circles out to another realm, and then another realm, and another realm. All these different. I don't study that, but that's the very little bit I know about it. And I mean, it's a cool thought too. But I mean, whenever you look at what science has proven, like it's really hard to wrap your mind around exactly what's going on. Like the Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, right? So that's going 1,000 miles an hour, and then we are orbiting around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, something like that. And then the sun is also traveling at around 500,000 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah, 500,000 miles an hour.
Like in rotation or like in one direction?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Mm.
But some people are saying that we're just flying straight and the infinite space is getting bigger. Right, that's one.
I remember that comedian that brought that up.
I don't remember that one.
He
Oh yeah.
he was like,
Pete Holmes. Yeah.
the universe is crazy. We live in infinite nothingness,
Mhm.
and nothingness is getting bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? And then, but the other theory is that in the center of the Milky Way, the galaxy that we're in, uh, there's like dark matter,
Mm-hmm.
something there, and that's what's rotating everything. So the sun is in orbit and the stars are in orbit, and that's why they're saying that everything stays constant because everything is constantly rotating. So yeah, that's how they explain it. But that's so hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's really interesting though.
Yeah, I mean, I had smoke coming out my ears trying to think on it. I was like, and none of it really makes sense. Like, how many things have to line up perfectly? Me myself, it's a lot easier to say, yeah, the Earth's flat because it's just easier to explain. But I mean,
Well, what do you think? Do you think the Earth is flat, or do you think it's round?
I don't have any reason to not believe the science that's been shown. Like, um, I mean, I would say, shoot from the hip. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's round. I mean, I want to believe that it's flat because I think that'd be cool just to flip everything on end.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier or later last year, like, oh yeah, hey, aliens are real, and everybody's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Nobody really cared. I think it'd be the same way with this, but I would love it because it'd be like, oh, okay, so everything that we couldn't touch in this world now may be attainable because there's something, just on the other side of this. They said Antarctica is an ice wall,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know what that's got to do with planes. I mean, somebody should be able to fly over it,
Yeah.
Surely they're not watching every inch of it, but
I mean, I know I've seen some videos on YouTube, and of course, people can fake stuff and whatever. But some people were wanting to go to Antarctica and go to the utmost point of the Earth. Like,
mhm,
if you look at a globe, they want to go to the top 10. That's on the very top.
right.
And they tried to go up there, and they have passports and traveling equipment and all these camera team and everything. And they have every right to go up there. Like they're not hurting anything. They're perfectly legal to do it. But the military would not let them pass a certain point.
Yeah.
As if it was like Area 51, like they can't go past this certain point in the world.
Well, what's weird with Antarctica is I don't know if it's every country, but like they're pretty much all the countries have a treaty in Antarctica, and nobody's allowed to build there, to mine there, to do anything there.
I wonder why.
I mean, a lot of the stuff I've seen on the flat Earth is, like, okay, well, if it's not an ice wall, then what does it matter? Why is this treaty even there? But the other part of me is like, okay, well, how do you get so many people to lie about it?
Yeah.
How do you get the astronauts to lie and the scientists to lie? And, I mean, you have to get everybody to lie.
I mean, that works for the government.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even that gets kind of, it gets out there eventually. I mean, maybe it might take, I mean, it was a conspiracy theory about aliens,
Mm-hmm.
not that long ago. Like, you were a crazy kook if you ever believed in aliens. And then, next thing you know, they're openly talking about it, in a congressional hearing. Like, yeah, fiber optic, that was reverse engineered. Like, excuse me? like, is that, Okay.
Do you think that those aliens they put on display, do you
Mhm.
think they were real or do you think they were fake? 'Cause I think they were fake. I think they were just to distract people from what was going on.
Put on display where?
I think it was the Mexican government.
Mm.
They put on display these two aliens, or maybe it was just the one, and like that's how they told everybody that aliens are real,
Yeah.
and they just don't look like real things. Like even mummified like people like archaeologists have found and whatnot, like they just look fake. They look like they're made out of like clay magic.
Yeah.
They just don't look real.
Well, I mean, like I don't trust like our media. Like, I mean, it's not that everything they say is a lie. I don't think that, but I mean, there you can if you watch it and you pay attention, you can generally tell what the agenda is. You know what the
Mm,
message is, and that's not what the news is really supposed to be for, but that's what we got. So you know, just kind of read between the lines. But if I'm not trusting ours, where we
yeah.
do have all this, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, you know, we got all that. You know, I doubt I'm going to trust another country's media more. You know, so I mean, to me, it was probably fake. You know, because who knows what was going on at that time. I'm sure
Yeah.
something was, like always.
It's interesting to think about, like, because I do believe in aliens. I think they are out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think what they showed was an alien because that's very comic book alien. You know, that's not, I feel like that's not exactly what they probably look like.
Well, I mean, uh, they're on record as saying that there's more than one type of alien.
I'm sure there's millions.
Yeah, but they won't really classify as what they are, you know, if they're interdimensional beings or if they're outer space.
Mhm.
Like they're like, yeah, they're here. We're not going to tell you who, what, why, or where,
Yeah.
but yeah, we seen them. We know they're there. It's all cool. Y'all can stop reporting.
Well, like all the stars are just a different sun, smaller, bigger, whatever. But if there's that many suns, there's got to be that many more planets.
Well, they have found several, like thousands of Earth-like planets
Yeah.
orbiting around other stars, and I mean, we ain't reaching it in our lifetime.
No, because it takes thousands of light years.
Right. But there are other habitable planets out there that are within the same distance as what our Earth is. Like what I forget what they call it, but you know, it could possibly support human life. Like they believe it has oxygen, they believe it has water, they believe that the temperature would be roughly the same of what we have now. So, you know,
It'd be really cool, like
yeah,
to go and find it, or have one of them come to us. Because like I feel like I know it takes like thousands of light years to
uh,
get there, but if we had some kind of way to get people there fast enough
yeah,
that they wouldn't die, but they could still see it, like they wouldn't have to bring anything back or bring any transmissions back because they physically couldn't.
yeah.
But if we were able to get like the technology there,
Mhm.
and then say in I don't know 30,020, like whatever year it will be then on our Earth,
Yeah,
they send a transmission back and tell us about their planet and whatnot.
yeah,
Because it would have to be thousands of years later because how far away it is. But if they were able to send something, like we were sending in the technology and ask them, hey, like, can you send us something too?
yeah.
And they take our technology and eventually get there and are able to send something back. That'd be really cool.
You know what I think's weird is that it's not that like people like accept the fact that the moon is round
Yeah.
and these other planets are round. They just don't accept that Earth is round.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I mean, just looking at it with like no training, you know, like I mean, if you're getting a Google degree in science,
Hmm.
I could see why you would think that the world is flat because it makes sense. I mean, common sense wise, it does make sense, but common sense isn't always the right answer. I mean, sometimes you have to think of stuff logically and like, okay, well, sun's round, the moon's round. You know, our half moon and our crescent moon and all that. All that is just shadows from the Earth.
Yeah.
So if the shadow is round, why isn't the shadow flat?
Yeah.
So
Something that's also really interesting. We haven't, like, people on Earth, I don't know if astronauts or whatever, but
mm,
we personally have never seen, we've only seen one side of the moon.
mhm,
We have never seen other than one half of the moon.
right,
That's so interesting because the moon rotates with us. If you look at pictures from the 60s, or if they have pictures from
yeah,
before then, of the moon, it's the exact same as it was then as it is now. I mean, there's some like more craters and whatnot, but if you're comparing them, they're the same thing, just with a little more damage because they take a lot of asteroids.
yeah,
But we're looking at the exact same side of the moon, and we have for thousands of years. That's really interesting because it's rotating with us.
yeah,
It's not because it's in our rotation. It's not in the sun's,
right,
like the Mars would be, and Venus. They're on the sun's rotation,
right,
just like we are.
yeah.
But the
They have
moon
it.
is in ours.
Yeah, that's why Mars has a day-night cycle and the moon doesn't.
Yeah,
It's just stagnant. Which I didn't know that till like last year.
really.
Yeah, I had no idea that. I mean, I knew the album Dark Side of the Moon,
Yeah,
but I just thought that meant, oh, whenever it's nighttime over there.
yeah.
I don't
I
know
really
that.
wonder what it looks like.
I mean, probably,
Well, doesn't that mean that whenever our moon, like whenever the moon is like a crescent moon,
hmm
or most of it is black from our shadow,
hmm
doesn't that mean like most of the moon is black at that point?
yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. But I mean, it's always going to catch sunlight because, the sun's
Yeah.
around, but, um, yeah, the dark side of the moon, I imagine it looks just like the light side of the moon, just darker. So, I mean,
Well, I mean, if it's if it's completely dark for millions of years, I feel like it's going to have a significant difference than hitting the sun side.
eh,
Like, could have ice, could have some kind of, maybe if there was life on the moon, it has like preservation of it.
well, I mean, I don't know what would survive because, I mean, I don't even know how cold it is up there. But,
I remember seeing something that like whenever it's the dark side of it, it's significantly colder.
well, I think we've gone around the dark side of the moon. We never landed there because, there's no point to it. But we have like slingshotted around it to come back.
Mhm.
Like that's how the astronauts, get there to come back. You know, but then of course that's if you believe the moon landing was real. So
I don't think the one they broadcasted was real. I'm sure we've been on it, but I don't think that was really the thing.
like what they seen on TV.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
in the like 70s, I think 60s,
I think it
70s.
was like 69.
Yeah, it. Uh, I don't think that was real at all.
I mean, I could see them uh playing out the broadcast. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like okay, the land on the moon. This is what happened. This is how they described it. So we're gonna do that here on a stage. I mean, NASA employed a film director at one point. I forget his name, but he was like a well-known director.
Mm.
So yeah, and then I've seen like some videos where like like he definitely got pulled up by a wire. Like I mean I don't know for sure, but it sure looks like it.
Yeah,
But also there was stuff that didn't make like they would kick up the dirt or whatever, and there wouldn't be any dust particles floating. So it's definitely in a vacuum of some kind because like it would just go up, go down, like no dust trail or nothing. Like that was So it's really hard to tell. Like,
Well, I mean, the moon still has gravity.
well, yeah, but we have atmosphere. So like if we kick up any kind of dust, there's a little poof cloud of
Yeah.
dust. This was nothing. Like, it goes up, goes back down. So it was like in the vacuum of space, like the moon,
Oh, yeah.
they would have had to have done it in a room with no oxygen, no atmosphere, no nothing. So I don't even know if they had the technology back then.
So I also don't know, like, because in the video that they broadcasted to everybody, the flag is like waving around. It's not just sitting there.
Yeah.
And the moon doesn't have wind because it doesn't have air.
Right.
So it should just be gravity just pulling it straight down. It shouldn't be waving at all.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're so, I mean, we got to remember that it's not a world, but it's basically, it's a different world,
Yeah.
out there in space, what sounds common sense to us on the physics of it doesn't mean anything whenever you get outside of this bubble.
Yeah.
Whether it's a flat Earth or a globe, once you get outside of whatever we are, the rules are totally different. I mean, there's smart people that know the rules, I guess, but we're not. We're not a pair of them. I know that.
Yeah. There are some people there's actually a lot of people that'll take weather balloons.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm talking about the really big,
Yeah.
very thick balloons. Um, they'll take the weather balloons and they'll fill them with helium, and they'll take like some kind of camera or like something interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll take it um, out into space.
Yeah.
And then at some point the balloon pops because of the sun, or I don't remember what it was.
Right.
The balloon pops, the package falls back down, and people are able to recover it like within a couple miles of where they took it off from. And so there's a lot of videos of people actually taking things into space,
Yeah.
and you're able to look at at Earth and its roundness and see its shadows and see that it is a sphere.
Uh,
And then the balloon will pop or whatever, and it'll come crashing down. But that's a real thing that they can actually do now. And like apparently anybody can do it. Like I'm sure there's some laws in some places like you can get in trouble for it.
yeah. There's.
But the one I'm talking about, there's these couple guys I had seen did it in Nevada
Mm,
in the desert, and it went up. They took their videos and it came back crashing down, and they were able to still recover the videos, and the package and stuff was still like recoverable.
yeah, but it was just a few miles away, right, from where they set it off. They went a couple miles and got it.
Yeah,
So how is it a couple miles away, wherever it was up there in the atmosphere, and we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour,
I don't know.
right?
So it doesn't make sense, but
That's the weird part.
yeah,
You got to factor in all those speeds. I mean, I get it. Like if I'm riding a train and I jump up straight in the air,
hmm
I'm going to land in the same spot that I was
yeah,
because of momentum and all that. I don't know all the math for that, but that's why people question this, because, I just put that up in the atmosphere and it landed 2 miles away. If I was
yeah,
doing 1,000 miles an hour, it should be on the other side of the globe.
yeah.
Plus you got to factor in the 66,000 miles an hour going around, so it should have went away, and then
Yeah.
you know,
But people started putting like um, very, I guess it does have meaning in some way, but very meaningless things to do this with, like the YouTube channel Mr. Beast.
uh,
Very popular. Almost everybody on the world knows who Mr. Beast is, at least.
right,
But he got a 10 million subscriber play button. I don't know if it was him or somebody that he just did it with, but they put his play button in this like specific heavy duty frame and a weather balloon and a camera pointed at it, and they put the play button in space,
hmm
and then the balloon popped or whatever, and it came back down. And so now they have this play button that's now been to space,
yeah,
and it's apparently worth a lot of money now. I mean, most of the $10 million or 10 million subscriber play buttons are worth a lot,
right,
but this is probably the most expensive because it's from space, and It's really interesting. I don't know how it works because it doesn't make sense at all.
I don't know why stuff like that gains value because it went really high in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Very few things on the planet have gone that high, though.
yeah, I know, but it seems like, like you said earlier, a weird flex. If I use that right,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, that seems like okay
Yeah.
to me. In my old man thinking, well, that depreciated the value because now it's not as pristine because now it went up into some radiation and then it fell and then da 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 da.
Yeah.
I'll buy it for $150. So I mean, yeah,
That just made me think of our next topic for the next podcast, next episode.
oh yeah,
Chernobyl.
oh.
Wow. Okay. No Chernobyl then.
No, we can talk about Chernobyl. I just didn't think that's where you were going.
Well, you said like radiation, and then I just went with.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like start, telling stories of me at auctions or something.
Just depreciating value over here.
Flat screen TV for $75 ain't no way.
What a bargain!
Yeah. One of the feedbacks that I heard, you and me sound too similar.
Yeah, I really don't hear it, but I understand it because I've gotten the same thing. Like people have told me that. I think two people told me that we sound very very similar.
You, I guess we can rock paper scissors to see who's gonna talk in a high pitched voice.
Talk like this for the whole podcast.
Oh my God, guys! Thanks for coming to the podcast. Yeah, something like that.
Oh goodness.
Or we can just keep talking.
Yeah, I prefer this.
Yeah. I mean, it's good feedback because, we do sound kind of alike.
Yeah, we've got, I would say, fairly deep voices, and we're pretty damn southern, if I had to say so.
I mean, at least you know how to enunciate words.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like I got marbles in my mouth.
Well, I have some public speaking under my belt, though, because I used to be a regional officer for FCCLA, and I had to talk in front of thousands at one point. Well, maybe not thousands. It was like 800, I think. But still, that's a pretty damn big crowd in person.
What's better than me? I used to get drunk and tell stories. So, like, is it like to sometimes 5 people at a time?
I remember the last time that I did like public speaking with FCCLA. I had no idea what was going on. I had a really really good teacher for FCCLA in the beginning,
right.
And me and her got to be very very close, and she eventually moved schools and whatnot, and we still keep in contact. We're very good friends, and whenever she moved schools, we got a new teacher that I'm not going to say names,
right.
But she is awful at her job. I know that's mean or whatever, but for FCCLA, I'm sure she's great at whatever she does outside of FCCLA.
Right.
But with FCCLA, she is so incredibly mistaken on everything. It completely ruined it. And the last time I did public speaking, she didn't tell me I was going to have to speak on stage. She didn't tell me what I was supposed to say. I got told, like, okay, you're going to go and announce this award. And I got shoved on stage. That was it. I didn't get told who I was giving it to. I was told, read this paper and give them the thing and sit down. I'm like, okay. So I go up, and on this page says, like, Colby Hobson. And then that's my little spot that I'm supposed to say.
Right.
And I'm like, yada, yada, yada. Somebody's name won this award. And then everybody clapped and whatnot. And then I had like it was almost like a monologue. I had to read, like, this person got this award because they showed all of this in their project, yada, yada. And I was like, man, I wish I would have, like, combed my hair today. Because I was wearing, like, slacks, a blazer, dress up shirt, a tie. But I was expecting, like, just have to stand there or sit there.
Right.
And
so the hair never crossed your mind?
No. And that's whenever I had a mullet.
Oh my God.
And
I hated that thing so bad.
Everybody was very nice city people, put together very well from like Kansas City and Springfield, and
Uh,
they're all nice, well put together. And then here comes this little redneck with I didn't even realize it until afterwards. I had a button down shirt on.
uh,
Buttons were offset by one. So the top button didn't meet with the top button. It met with the button below it.
uh-huh.
And so I was like all sideways in my shirt and had a big, long, like I would say almost a foot and a half long mullet and just flapping in the wind walking up there. And it was ridiculous. I love the mullet though. I wish I still had it.
I believe that's called being a hot mess.
I was just gonna say redneck.
Well, I mean, even rednecks know how to button up their shirt. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of describe yourself as like a drunk frat boy at that point.
Yeah. Man, it was whenever I had no facial hair too. I looked so weird.
I
At
feel
zero.
I feel like with that story, you're gonna have like several like teenage Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who that teacher was.
I'm sure most of them now.
Oh, they're gonna go through
Because she's still the current FCCLA teacher.
Well, now you just gave away the answer, now didn't you?
Whatever. I don't care. I'm not gonna see her again. I'm not using her name, so it's not hurting her public image or whatever.
Yeah, well, you over 18. That can be your lawsuit, not mine.
Hey, 19's a hell of a time. It's called Nasty 19 for a reason.
Nasty 19?
You never knew that?
No.
Yeah.
But that
19 is called Nasty 19.
That explains a whole lot of my 19th year. That checks out.
I got till December. We're gonna keep it interesting. It's the last year being a teenager. We have to hit all the stops.
Uh-huh.
Just maybe lose a little bit of this baby love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, one of these days.
Getting a little thick in the wastage area.
I mean, I've definitely got my winter coat on too. I've been thinking about trying to work out again and possibly go on a diet. My problem is I'm too happy.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy my life, I enjoy my work, I enjoy my time with you. And the only way for me to be motivated, it seems, is through pure hate.
Yeah.
And, whenever I get mad enough about it, I'll do it. But
Yeah.
by then, my knees feel like it's going to be too late at that point.
Yeah.
Because, my knees are not what they used to be.
Well, speaking of health and whatnot, do you know anything about Bryan Johnson?
Is that a porno actor?
No, he's Bryan Johnson he started this project called the Blueprint Project. And his whole thing is he's trying to reverse aging. And he's actually succeeding in it.
Succeeding.
Yeah, he's actually like making progression and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's about 41 now, I think, or 45, somewhere around there. It's early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks almost my age. Like with his skin looks very young. It's got no like blemishes. It's got no wrinklage to it, and he hasn't had any surgeries or plastic surgery. And this is all just through him with his project and through good health.
So he's my age, and he looks like he's 20.
Yeah, he looks like he's in his 20s. And he's like around 45, somewhere around there.
So he got a sign up button?
He does have like a starter guide to start doing this.
Really?
Yeah, and I think he sells like certain plans that you could use. Like he'll sell you this basic plan, and you just got to follow the plan, and you'll succeed in some way. And the way he does it, he owns a $5.8 million home, and he's got a fully equipped medical clinic in it, and a fully staffed. The clinic's fully staffed, and he's got people working around the clock helping him do this project.
So, for a meager startup fee of about $20 million, I too can look like I'm in my 20s.
In a way.
In a way. I mean, it's interesting. Like,
yeah, so he has all of these procedures that he does all the time. It's not surgical procedures, but he I know one of them is where you like agitate your pores on your skin, and they most of the time will bleed a little bit. And you agitate them, and it causes them to regrow stronger, so it makes your skin look tighter and makes it look younger.
You can bleed your pores.
But no, it's agitating your pores,
Well,
and sometimes they will bleed.
How did
Like it's with a bunch of like needles. Like you remember whenever
like a tattoo gun?
no, you remember whenever Captain America turned into Captain America,
Uh-huh.
like with those big pads that have needles in them.
Uh-huh.
That's similar to what it is.
I don't
It's like
want
a big, like palm-sized pad that, like, it's got really tiny needles that are like millimeters long,
that.
and it hits on your skin or puts electrodes like into your skin or whatever, and it agitates your pores and causes them to bleed sometimes. But it makes them just a little bit stronger, tightens up, makes your skin not look so wrinkly or damaged, I guess.
So my private areas are still going to look like they're in their 40s.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to be. Nuts still might drag, but so he takes over 100 supplements every single day. Like over 100 different pills
Uh-huh.
that are different supplements. Some of them are prescription, and most of them are just you can just buy like on Amazon or in a drugstore. And he takes over 100 every day. Eats all of his meals before 11 a.m. So he has a 18 to 17 something hour fast every day
Uh-huh.
that helps him burn his fat. That apparently makes him sleep better in some way. And he exercises and does this project all day long. And he also is a vegan, which I'm not sure if it has anything to do with like benefits to animals or whatever.
No.
I think it's just for health reasons, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me. But he eats strictly vegetables and fruits and natural grown ingredients, and never has meat, never has fats unless it's from vegetables or fruits.
You had me, and then you lost me.
And he drinks something called the Green Giant, I think is what it's called.
Uh-huh.
And it's this drink it's absolutely puke green. Like it looks like swamp water, but darker. And it's got like a bunch of like grass something in it. And it's just a lot of really, really healthy things. He drinks it every day, and that helps him with this project. It's very, very healthy for you. You get most of your vitamins in the day from this one drink. And it's like, I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was like a liter of this one drink he makes,
Yeah.
or his staff makes, whatever. But anyway, with this project, he spends $2 million a year, roughly, is what he said, roughly $2 million a year. And he's been doing it since 2021. So now he's on his third year doing it.
I feel like his car is in there for a tax write-off.
It could be. But yeah, it's really interesting. And he's apparently succeeding in it because you can do these tests that tell, like with actual medical clinics you can go to, and they can use some form of like radiology or I don't remember what it is, but
Yeah. MRI.
yeah, they can tell what age your organs and your bones and whatnot. That they'll tell you what age your organs are growing at,
Mm-hmm.
and his are significantly lower, like 15 years plus than his actual age. That's including his bones, his organs, his brain, his eyes. Everything is significantly lower than what it's supposed to be.
I mean, I would love to have my eyesight back. Like,
Carrots, apparently.
well, I mean,
That's not from him. That's just
if they're in pot roast, I'll eat them.
the.
Yeah. But I mean, the difference in between, like he's eating like 70 supplements a day. Is that what he's eating?
Over 100.
Over 100 supplements a day.
Yep.
Well, no wonder he can fast because you're full on pills. But
And apparently it's over like $2,000 a month on just the supplements alone.
I mean, I think that, I mean, our age is finite, right? Like we're only going to get so old before we die, no matter what kind of shape we're in.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be healthy, sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should probably start concentrating on that. But
And this guy's built like David Goggins also. He's like full 8-pack, big arms, big pecs. He's ripped.
yeah, but David Goggins is David Goggins because he's David Goggins.
He's this generation's Chuck Norris.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, he's the one that carries the boats.
Yeah.
So
Who's gonna carry the boats?
but I mean, if I had a choice, which I mean, I kind of do, I guess, in a way, to either live until I'm 80 by eating 100 supplements a day and fasting every day and drinking what just sounds like the Jolly Green Giant's bathwater, or I can live till 60 and like get to eat my friend's beef jerky that we had last night.
Mm-hmm.
Drink my soda,
go to family dinners.
Yeah. Have that belt busting Thanksgiving dinner that I love. If that's the choices, I know which choice I'm going to.
Maybe no more Outback for a while though from last episode.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna skip a little Outback, for a while, until they get one in Joplin. Maybe. Well, no, they do have one in Joplin.
Yeah,
now that I think about it, it's just never open. It seems.
Yeah.
Well,
or no one ever goes.
Well, it's right next to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a hard pick.
Not really.
I'm not a huge fan of Olive Garden though. I'm not a big pasta guy.
Right, but endless bread. I'm just saying.
The garden bread though.
So, but yeah, I mean, health is very important, but I don't think not to that extreme for me personally. Other people that do it, and for him, God bless him. I wish him the best of luck.
I hope he succeeds further in it because, like I was saying, he sells these plans that you can actually do it and somewhat succeed in it. And there was this guy, I don't remember what his name was. It's on YouTube, but he tried it for 30 days, doing the plan to closest as he could. And he got the diet correctly, the exercise correctly. He couldn't get all the supplements because a lot of them needed to be prescribed. But he did it for 30 days, and he did the test to see how old your organs are before it, and he did it afterwards. And he did all these blood tests and whatnot. And he did this, and for the 30 days, and whenever he was done, he did all the tests again. And his age of his organs actually went down by a few years. Yeah. Like, I think it was like a maximum of 4 years. 4 or 5 years, but off 30 days, and you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And then he's not overweight, I would say, but he hasn't got abs. He has got a little bit of a tummy on him. And he had a pretty high cholesterol before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And after it was done, it was down to like a 20-year-old's. His cholesterol was way, way down, but that was also eating strictly vegetables and fruits. And I think sometimes oats and stuff, but only things grown from the ground. And doing all this exercise, taking these supplements, and he got significantly healthier, but he was really depressed.
Yeah.
Because it was really boring, and it was just very, I don't know, it was just really way too much work for just the average person, I would say. Because he didn't want to just do this all the time. And afterwards, he said he was going to do it, but with major changes. Like, he's probably going to have meat. He's probably going to have maybe a little less exercise, but still some, whatnot. But he got significantly healthier, and he actually did age backwards in some way. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody wants that. Yeah. Everybody wants to live forever.
Until they do.
Right. But, I mean, if it was, I feel like I'm most people, if it was cheap and it was easy,
everybody would do it.
And I didn't have to really work that hard at it.
Yeah.
The only thing that realistically is close to that,
Hmm.
and I don't think I'm really able to say the word, but it's there's a lot of it around in this area. But if you had some rock candy,
Oh yeah,
that seems to be the ultimate diet plan.
yeah,
Like I mean, some of these people they could they could take that stuff right and then just make up whatever diet program they want
yeah,
and then sell it, and it could all be a total bunch of bullshit. And they're just going to town, like they'd be millionaires. But luckily, they're stripping copper and taking VCRs apart. So
yeah.
VCR kids is something that we used to put videotapes in so we could watch our movies.
Hey, we still had a VCR until I was like 12.
That's only because I had 80s porn.
Well, I mean, we weren't the family that was buying the brand newest stuff. We still had so many VHS tapes and several VCRs because they were cheap enough that they were still worth watching, but they weren't um, breaking the bank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever you were born,
Mhm.
like me and your mom, we were really young whenever we had you,
Yeah, I did.
and we were so broke.
Yeah,
So broke. And I mean, we weren't completely broke, like we got food stamps, but
yeah,
we only got $25. I was like, that's, I hate you,
yeah,
but it was actually kind of nice because that made me like, all right, I'm done with this job. I'm finding something.
yeah,
It was that hate motivation I was talking about.
yeah.
Made me
I hate the
actually,
way I'm living. I'm going to change it.
yep. So, but yeah, I mean,
I remember I don't think I remember it being at its worst, but I remember at some point after you and my mom separated, um, we had to live with three of us kids. Or no, yeah, it was just the three of us kids and my mom in a studio apartment
yeah,
for a while,
yeah. I remember that.
and that's a lot of kids and that's a lot of people just for a studio apartment.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a lot of like really bad stories with that too, but we won't get into those.
No, no, I shouldn't get into those.
Uh,
But I mean, luckily, your mom was able to power through that and move on to better things. So, um, you're lucky on that regard because I mean, that's pretty tough for anybody.
yeah, but a lot of it was just, yeah.
Yeah.
But things got better. Everybody's happy now for the most part.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
that's the whole point of life is get happy.
Yeah.
Work through your struggles and move on,
yeah. But now I'm living with you and enjoying life as much as we can. There's still struggle sometimes, but
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't make shit easy. I feel like I'm somewhat demanding on some things.
yeah. Is there anything you're excited for coming into 2024?
Um, no. I mean, uh, all years kind of blend together anymore. So, like, I don't really have set plans or goals to conquer for the year. It's more moved into in my life. I would like to, accomplish this or accomplish that, but not for the year.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, there's some things I do want to accomplish, like reading about the whole Brian Johnson thing and seeing how much he can change himself by just living a more healthy lifestyle. I am going to start taking it like more seriously, my health, because I'm the kind of guy like, oh, a cheeseburger, sure, or oh, add bacon for $2, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I know that.
And with working like I am right now, I can still pay the bills I need to and still have a lot of free time for working out, other responsibilities. And I think I'm going to start taking it more seriously now.
You are?
Yeah.
That's good.
Within the next probably a week or two, I'm going to drop some bad habits and start eating healthy because something with me, I really hate cooked vegetables. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's just we ate it a lot when I was growing up. I don't know. But whenever you cook vegetables and they get mushy,
Yeah.
I hate it. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's because you're not old enough yet.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not eating from a spoon in it yet. Out of a straw.
That's hurtful.
But raw vegetables, though, like raw carrots, raw broccoli, raw celery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I could eat it all day. I could eat that as my strict diet.
Can you eat it without ranch?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other day, I think it was last week, but we had like a whole head of celery.
Yeah.
I just broke off a couple stalks of it, washed them, and I just sat there on the couch just because I wanted a snack. And I was like, I want something that's going to make me feel a little better, not just fill me up.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed a couple stalks of celery and just sat on the couch. No ranch, no peanut butter, no nothing, just straight up raw celery, and just sat there and ate it. And I was like, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't needing something else. It was still, I know celery has like no nutritional value, basically just water and fiber, but I still like enjoyed eating it. It made me feel a little more fresh, a little healthier. Like I wasn't dragging around the house.
Right.
I felt better. So I think there's no thing. I'm going to start buying more healthier groceries. And like, I know generally you buy the groceries, but
Yeah.
because I'm changing my lifestyle, I'm going to start buying stuff for me, like carrots, celery, maybe potatoes.
Well,
less bread, less cheese, less,
potatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great. I love them,
but they're not the healthiest
right.
thing.
And if you can get me a list, that I can work inside of, then whenever I do buy groceries, I can kind of do that in mind. I don't mind eating different. I mean, I didn't get this big by being picky. So,
well, I mean, I'm not going to force that habit on anybody else. Like I'm trying to make myself change.
Yeah.
So I'll probably bring it up, but most of it will probably be through me spending on it.
Right. I mean, God forbid if I
eat some more vegetables,
ate something that was a little better for me than Oreo ice cream.
How was it?
So good.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so good. And I make it even worse because I'll put it in a cup, put some milk in it, and like stir it. And I got like this like metal cup that I love it for because it's like making homemade ice cream.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and stir it and eat it. And I mean, I could eat the whole carton that night if I really, really wanted to.
That's ridiculous.
So good.
I can't have that much dairy. I don't think I'm dairy intolerant in any way, but like I can have like a cup of milk once a week. But if I have more than that, I don't know what the deal is, but my stomach just gets so upset.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm lactose intolerant, but Mama didn't raise no quitter.
We start in that part and we finish in it.
Yeah, like I mean, it ain't gonna slow my roll at all. So,
oh man!
But I have started to enjoy yogurt more.
Yeah, we have way too much yogurt. I don't even know how we have that much now.
Because I bought it because Kaylin wanted it at first, and then I ate a cup of it. I was like, that really ain't that bad.
Yeah.
And maybe I won't make cinnamon toast every night to snack on.
Yeah.
If I have
butter, sugar, and cinnamon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had one of them and I tried it and I was like, yeah, this is good, but I can make it better. So I took a granola bar and I cut it up till it was basically just crumbled up granola and threw it in the yogurt. Man, was it so good? Because I'm a big texture guy. Like I need some texture in there. I don't need just creamy old grandma needs a snack. I want something I'm gonna have to chew in there.
The way we're talking today, we might have to change the name of the podcast from the Campout to Getting Fat 101. We could teach a class and be 10-year professors on it.
Just call it the Couch Podcast.
Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, you've enjoyed your time doing this?
In the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy just having conversations.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not the easiest for us to have just random conversations because you work a lot, and whenever you're not working, I could be working, or whenever you get home from work, you work a long ass shift, and you just want to sit around and enjoy your time, or go to bed. So we don't get to have extensive conversations very often anymore. But whenever we did, they were always really funny.
Yeah.
And it'd be, I always thought it'd be really funny. Like, oh, we should record these. I never thought about really posting it until you brought it up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's make a podcast. It started with a YouTube channel, and you wanted to play video games.
Yeah. I mean, well, because, I mean,
you just wanted to Neebs gaming this whole thing.
Right. Oh, God, I love them guys so much.
Yeah. You got me into them a lot whenever I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, that was all I did. Like, every kid has their little phase where all they do is watch YouTube.
Oh, God.
All day long for years.
Everywhere I take you guys to be like a YouTube streamer, like sitting in the back seat.
Yeah. But
Jamie used to do it a lot too, and I'd have to turn around and be all like, we're not on a YouTube channel.
But you introduced us to this Neebs Gaming YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was about it. I think it was because you enjoyed it and because they were funny.
Yeah.
We got obsessed with it. We watched their all their ARC videos, their 7 Days to Die videos. All the videos that we found funny, that we watched all of them. Even Battlefield Friends, which was like one of their first things.
Well, so if you want the full nerd story, right? I was playing. Oh God, what was I playing? What was the one with all the? Was it Battlefield?
With all the what?
You get to have all the enemies. What was their cartoon about? Was it Battlefield Friends?
Yeah, Battlefield Friends.
Yeah, so I was playing Battlefield, and I kept on dying a lot,
Getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, right. So I did a lot of YouTube research on it, and then somehow I stumbled into this, and I'm like, what is that? And I clicked on it, and they're hilarious. So I kept watching it.
Yeah.
And then you guys seen me watching it, and then you wanted to watch it, and then they turned into their whole ARC series and all that. And
they were a really small channel whenever we started.
Yeah.
Like, they were just a couple thousand, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, maybe 5,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
And then we started watching it, and then eventually they started growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And now do they have a couple million now? Or
I don't know where they're at. I know they're over 1 million. But and they do some live shows, which I'd like to go actually see one time.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But I don't know. It's just I like those guys because they're just some dudes, and they work really hard, and I don't know. That's why I like them, and they're just funny to me. But
I just looked them up, and they have 2.35 million subscribers. And we started back whenever they had like 10, 15,000, something like that.
Yeah. It's been really nice to watch them grow.
Yeah, because they've grown a lot in the past, like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer, but like, because we started watching them whenever I was like, maybe 13, 14?
Yeah.
So whenever I got introduced to them, and I don't watch them as much as I used to anymore, but I still, every once in a while, I'll pop in and like, what's going on with everybody out here? And watch their newest episodes. And
I've liked them forever, but like celebrities, will pass away from time to time.
Yeah.
And you'll see people that, react to it, and they're sad about it.
Yeah.
Whenever Thick passed away,
which is one of the guys on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was the first celebrity to me, that passed away that actually affected me. Like, I was legit sad. I couldn't even watch any of the videos for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was
your mood, like, outside of like entertainment, like, changed also.
Yeah.
Like, you just weren't as happy.
Yeah, because they're still a great channel. Like, that channel is bigger than just one guy, but he was so entertaining to watch, and like,
he was my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah,
was that he was just so funny, and he had the most random things that he would just pop in and do.
Yeah,
he'd be in the middle of a mission, and he'd just fly in on a pterodactyl, like.
Oh yeah, no, I was using the term thick at work.
Yeah,
yeah, like, okay, I got thick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the first time I was ever personally affected, so I understand more whenever somebody gets upset about a celebrity. I mean, I didn't know him, never met him, never talked to him,
Yeah.
but I watched him a lot, and they had a really great tribute after he had passed.
Yeah, I had seen that. It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, and the other guys, they were just so affected.
Well, I mean, they were one of their closest friends, and they
Mhm.
had spent years and years with them.
Yeah. So it was, I don't know, but
Wasn't he like battling cancer or something?
Yeah, he was battling cancer, and then I think it went into remission, and then it came back, and and he was still working, as much as he could from what they were saying on the podcast. Like he was trying. At one point, I think he had lost mobility in one of his arms or hands or something.
Yeah.
So there's like this disabled like mouse thing that you can use your foot to compensate for your arm in some way.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I've never seen it, but I know they had talked about it, and I was like, man, that guy is just a workhorse.
Yeah.
Like he's in it to win. But
He could be going through hell, and he'll still be trying.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's one of the few people that I never knew, and I will probably miss forever. So
Yeah.
but anyway, off that sad subject. So, any Dasher stories this week?
I guess there's not. Well, okay. I had to go pick up this pizza at I think it was just Pizza Hut, and deliver it to somebody. And this guy, there were these two other people in there waiting for an order, and they were both also Dashers.
Yeah.
It was the first time I had seen another Dasher in the wild.
Right.
And this lady was like a housewife, like number one. Like you can tell this is just to pay for the nails kind of thing. Like she's got her life put together. And she's like, yep, this is how the app works and yada yada, and was helping this older man. I was trying to figure it out. And her order came up, and so I sat with the guy, and he goes, are you a Dasher? I'm like, yeah, yes, sir. He was probably in his 60s.
Mhm.
He's an older guy. And he was like, can you like help me with this thing on the app? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And was like teaching him how the app worked and whatnot. And it was really cool because most of the time in my life, I was the one learning a lot from older people, like my grandpa, for example, or Grandpa Bryan, whenever he was still here.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from them, and being able to help someone that was a little older and something that I knew more about than they did. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And he eventually figured it out, or we figured it out. And I was like, all right, my order's done. I got to get out of here. He goes, all right, you have a good one. Drive safe. And I don't know why. It's just such a small interaction that I probably won't forget, because he was just such a genuine guy. He was so nice. But it also made me think, like, I really hope I'm not at that point in my life whenever I get to that age where I'm just like scraping for anything, because he could just be retired trying to find something to do. I'm not sure, but if I'm just using context clues from the way he was acting, what he looked like, that's probably his full-time job.
Yeah.
And I started dashing not that long ago while I'm still looking for a full-time job.
Right.
And I know it doesn't pay like fantastically, like if I had my own house and car and whatnot, I'm paying for the car, but if I had my own house and major bills and stuff, you would not be able to do it with DoorDash.
Yeah.
You would have to work every meal every day.
Yeah.
And you might be able to.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to probably do, 14 hours a day, 15.
Yeah. And I just felt so bad for him, because he's putting in the work, though. It was a cold day, and he was still doing his orders. And
that's why it's so important to start working early and setting money back and trying to build that nest egg, or you could go the route of having like 12, 15 kids, because it's easy to split a nursing home between 12 and 15.
Yeah.
I don't suggest that, but to
1,000 goes to 100 pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, but I mean, just keep doing what you're doing and try to enjoy life a little bit while you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. I've always struggled with, I guess, just happiness, and I don't know. I get into this mood, I guess, or just this state of mind that only one thing matters, and that's the only thing I worry about. Like for me right now, my one thing that matters is finding a full time job instead of DoorDash.
Yeah.
Nothing really, I guess, brings the excitement for anything else. Like yes, I was excited about doing this podcast, but like I wasn't uh, jumping for joy. Like let's get it done, baby.
Yeah.
While we were preparing for this podcast, I was on my phone applying for jobs.
Right.
Because that's the only thing I'm worried about right now. I'm not worried about being happy. I'm not worried about finding things that enjoy me. I'm finding something that is going to make me money.
Well, yeah, because I mean, this isn't going to make us money.
I mean, eventually it might, but if we're being realistic, probably not. And that's okay.
If I scratch enough lottery tickets, eventually I'll win.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll either go broke or I'll win. But I mean, it's not why we started it, but I mean,
it's a nice fantasy on top of everything else. Like,
right.
Maybe it will.
But I mean, you find you something that you enjoy. Like my job to anybody else probably wouldn't be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Right. But I enjoy it. And it's enjoyable enough for me that, that as long as everything goes right and everything, that's where I retire.
Yeah.
But once you find something like that you can stick with, and then hopefully find something that you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
Like Kaylin is very passionate about her cats. And if anybody needs to adopt a cat, please contact Kaylin. But she started that cat rescue because she's very passionate about it.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll find something along that line that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
The things that I was passionate about, I didn't do because I listened to other people and like how stupid that was, and you'll never do anything, and da 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 da.
Yeah,
I took in all the negative, but you shouldn't. You should always try to do whatever you're passionate about, because if you don't, you're going to regret it. If you fail, so what? Who cares?
Yeah,
you're young. You'll bounce back. I'm 42. I could try it now, and I could bounce back still. But
man, this podcast turned into a motivational TED Talk pretty quick.
Well, all right. I mean, we can go the other way. Like, like you passionate about something? Stop it. Don't do it. Knock that shit off. That's stupid. So, but no, I really do firmly believe that if you're passionate about something, you should always go for it, whether you succeed or fail. And if you're still passionate about it after you fail, try it again.
Yeah.
Who cares? And, I probably never will try, so I always have the money to back you up, baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just remember me when in my retirement home.
Shit, you'll be lucky if you get a shack on the back end of the property.
As long as I get a hot nurse, that's all I care about.
Go, Gertrude.
Hey, now. All right, well, I think that's about it for me today.
Yeah, we're reaching our time here, so.
All right, well, it was fun today. I don't know. Looking forward to next week, and hopefully we'll find more interesting topics to talk about.
Not just Ryan Johnson.
He still sounds like a porno name.